Okay, we're gonna semi-open the meeting as people come in, just so we can get started on time. Well, there's Matt. So, John, work with me here so we can. And Diane, okay. So here's the HDC Thursday, April 14th. Do we have to take a roll call?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Oh, and Stephen just got zoomed in.
Okay, great. Okay, so people on board are John McLaughlin, Abby Camp, Carrie Thornwell, Diane Coombs, and Stephen Welsh. And staff, we have Esmeralda Martinez and Holly Bacchus.
And Terry is also on.
And Terry Norton, not to forget about her, keeps us
in line.
Yes. Is there a motion to?
So move.
Thank you. I forgot what the word was. Is there a motion to confirm the agenda?
Approve the agenda.
Approve the agenda. Okay, thank you, Diane.
Okay,
Thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion, John, are you in favor of the agenda? Okay, Carrie.
Aye.
Diane, on your
aye.
motion. And I'm an aye. Okay. Now, Anne, I was just talking to Ray, and just so we can get on with the agenda, you know, we kind of get the idea that you're looking for affirmation from us.
Yeah, support if possible, yes.
Yeah, and there are a lot of us sort of going in that favor. So if you'd like to make your presentation, that's fine. And we can just move it right along so we can get to the rest of the agenda. But I think you're going to find a positive affirmation of your proposal.
Okay, I can be very brief.
Okay, thanks, Anne.
State my name for the record, because that's what we're supposed to do, and do as. I live at 15 Mill Street on Nantucket. I came before you at the end of October last year with the very rudimentary beginnings of a proposal for an article to make changes to the definition of hot tub spa. I spoke to a number of different groups, including the HDC, and got a lot of very useful feedback. And one of the useful pieces of feedback I got from the HDC was that the article I was contemplating at the time, which was a diminution in the size of the surface area and reimposition of a gallon volume limit on spas. What I originally started out was with too small. Jesse suggested that I increase the size, and so I did. But the net result of all of the conversations and presentations that I did over a couple of months was that there was people said, it's great to do that because we need something, but what we would really rather see is a ban on hot tubs and spas in the Old Historic District, period. So I decided to create two articles. Article 54 bans hot tubs and spas in the Old Historic District, and Article 55 does what I originally set out to do, which is to make them smaller in size and include a volume criterion. So that's where we are today. Article 54 bans. If it fails, Article 55 is there to make those changes, to shrink them and put a limit on the amount of water they can have in them. I went to the planning board at the end of January, and the planning board was sort of, well, you know, we don't really know what people in the Old Historic District think, so we have to give this a take no action recommendation. We were about to launch a survey. The town association was about to launch a survey, which they subsequently did. It was open from the 15th of February to the 15th of March. And the results were posted around the 28th of March, I think. The results of that survey, which went out to over 1,600 people in both the Sconset Old Historic District and the Nantucket Old Historic District, we got 453 responses, which is 22% from Nantucket and 35% from Sconset, which is quite an impressive response rate. And the overwhelming response was that we should be banning pools in the old historic district. So the conversations that I had had last fall over a period of a couple months, both with organizations like the HDC, the Nantucket Town Association, and individuals who were plugged into what's going on in town and where we should be. That anecdotal evidence that we should ban was borne out by the overwhelming response of the people who actually live in the district. So we're going forward with Article 54 with the support now of a survey that says that's what people in the area want. I hope that passes. If it doesn't, we can still look at possibility to change size and volume. So that's really it. I went back and looked at the notes from our conversation last October. And I would say, generally speaking, it may not have been said so in so many words, but the implied outcome, the preferred outcome was no pools and spas in the old historic district. So I know it's been a real thorn in your side, and that's part of the reason I did it after all of our experiences last summer, was to try to take that thorn out of your side as much as possible. So here we are, and I hope that you're in a position to support the article, particularly the ban, and do so publicly. And if that happens, I will be extremely happy. Thank you.
And thank you all the way from Monaco, France, where we'd all like to be. So thank you for that.
Happy to take any questions.
Yeah, okay. Any questions?
No, but could we make a motion that we support 54?
Yeah, we can do that.
I would make that motion.
I'd like to discuss it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Stephen.
Okay, I'm speaking specifically for myself here. I would have some concern. Believe me, I think we know where I voted on many of these. But as a procedural matter with respect to, and Ann, I do respect all the work you put into this. I do sit on the planning board as an alternate. Their discussion was revolving around kind of the pool selected and responses, who they were from. And I think they had some valid concerns as a regulatory board weighing in. But in any event, my concern as if I asked to vote on this is we rule on these, and there is not a policy existing by despite some good efforts by the HDC. So, and what I take from that is we haven't voted a policy, and in conjunction with that, we're supposed to be fair and impartial based upon the individual facts of evidence that are presented to us. So I'm taking the position for myself, until I have legal advice otherwise, that voting for or against is something that would demonstrate a prejudice in applications coming before us. And I think and you all know I'm about unintended consequences, and that's what this whole thing is about, is that it could take away our ability to actually deny a very judiciously reviewed application by establishing that we have a prejudice against these in the old historic district. So that's my concern. I'm just voicing it. It's a procedural matter, not a qualitative matter. And that's about as painfully clear as I can be on that. But I do think it's important to have said. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, Steve, I really appreciate you saying that, because although I think the board is I don't know which way it's going if we were to take a vote, but I appreciate you saying that. So yeah, those are really good points too.
I would say more.
All right, Diane. Yeah, go ahead.
I think what Steve said was interesting. I think it says that the choice is not ours, or it makes it, we're against pools. There are things that we are against, in the old historic district, not all over the island. You're not asking for it all over the island, but we do have regulations and things for the old historic district. And we already have had one spot come in time again. And it is a question of what will be able to be passed in one district, not the whole island. And we are there to protect the old historic district in both Wisconsin and Down. And to say that we get to the thing of denying something, rather then it goes to the Board of Selectmen, and then they get it to it and they send it back to us. If I don't see anything wrong with voting at town meeting for one specific area in a whole 14 by 5 miles wide historic island. And I think it's important to do that. We do have rules that say what you can do in this area, and that's what we should take in mind. That's all. That's my difference with what Steve said.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you, but, so.
Madam Chair,
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
be so now, though. Okay.
yeah, that's
Go
fine.
ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with Diane. I'm simply making the distinction that all those things that we prohibit are based on regulations and guidelines that we've established. And most of, if not all of those, happened in a public hearing process where it was noticed and people could come and voice their opinion and we deliberated. That's number one. And number two is, again, without that process, we are, I believe town council will rule, demonstrating a prejudicial distinction either for or against, depending on how the vote goes. And that's my concern. So I just want to make that clear. I'm not saying that we can't say no to things. Obviously, that's part of our role, for God's sake. Anyone who's read the mission or has a basic understanding of the HCC knows that. I'm just saying there's a procedure involved. That's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, thanks again, Steve. I get your point.
Isn't this the procedure? Taking it to town meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Public?
Well, we're not
That's
voting
the
today
procedure.
we're not voting, it's not voting day, it's just the whatever the sway of the board is. It's not a, this is just an opinion where.
Isn't it like when pools were banned in the historic district?
Yeah, the pools
It's just
have-
another version
Yeah.
of that.
Right. So again, it's not a biggie. It's not going to be frontline news on the Inky Mirror. And I just, I want to get to some of these things today. So yeah.
Just
My most
Oh, hold on, Diane.
Sorry,
Holly.
Diane, I just wanted to give just a little bit of a staff's perspective.
Please.
The fact that this is gonna be going before town meeting, it has been vested, or not vetted is a good word, through the procedural processes, through the planning board, through finance committee, and there is a statement of whether to support or not. This commission, because you are kind of, and I see what Stephen's saying quite a bit, that you may not necessarily have to do a vote of support, but rather make a statement on it, because at the end of the day, you as a regulatory board are not voting as a whole on the individual warrant article like those other regulatory boards are,
Right.
and you all as individual, as well as the rest of the public that are voters in the town of Nantucket, can vote and voice our opinions at town meeting at the floor. So in lieu of giving a pro or con on the actual proposal, that maybe that's be beneficial for the commission just to come up with a statement.
Yeah, I like that
would
too.
be my
Yeah.
thought on it.
Okay, so, how do we make a statement? Would anybody like to try and make a statement?
I'll make a statement. This apparently, they're against spas in the pony field.
No, in the old historic district.
Okay, that's one. First to do so, you gotta have a plan. And you take the plan and you have to have a public hearing to get the input from the public.
Done all that.
After you do that, you take and somebody makes a motion to have a permanent policy for the HTC.
And that's what Ann just described that she's done for the past year.
Yeah, you have to vote for it, you know?
Yes, so it's at town
I'm just
meeting
taking
this
my
year.
side of it. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, well, thank you, John, for that. Diane, do you want to form a
Maybe we
statement, or would anybody like to try and make a
Maybe-
statement?
Maybe we'll do a statement saying that the following people with our names stand beside the 54, the warrant of 54, which bans the spas in the old historic district. And we would put our names on it. If you don't want to put your name on it, you don't have to. So we're just
Yeah,
confirming
I like that. Thank you, Diane. I think that's good because your last sentence is you can put your name in it or not. So I think that would be our statement.
Right.
Write that down, Holly?
No.
No, not too bad. But Diane, could you write that down?
Yep.
Okay.
or
Yeah.
I'll say it to you and Terry will get it.
Oh,
That
yeah.
the commission, the HDC commissioner members below have stated that they are in favor of warrant number 54, banning the spas in the old historic district. And this, and that would be if
Yeah,
somebody wants.
districts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
that's-
Right.
That's Article 55 banning, correct? Correct? That's what I
No,
have
50
from the Warren article.
No.
Article-
Article, sorry.
54.
54 bans.
55 reduces the amount of water.
That's
Precise.
not the way
Well-
it came off of my list of the warrant articles, but I'll double check it.
54 is banning,
Okay.
Terry, and 55 is shrinking,
Okay.
in a nutshell. So,
Okie dokie. So for some reason, the warrant articles copy that I had them listed backwards.
There was, excuse me, Madam Chair, can I just make a comment? At
Please.
one point, there was an old version of the warrant article of the warrant with the
Okay.
index of the articles and the article numbers were reversed. I corrected that. So if you go on
Okay,
to the
so
town
that's what
website-
I'm dealing with. Thank
if you
you.
go onto the town
Thank
website-
you, Ann. I'll fix
Okay.
it.
okay.
Glad
okay,
you're-
so
Glad you're there, Anne.
we have a statement and maybe we reach out to each committee members and they can put their name on it or not. And that will be democratic, I think. So, okay, we've made a statement. Thank you, Diane, for that. And,
Okay.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I have one last question. I'm assuming, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that with the statement that you craft and the signatories on it, I can cite that publicly.
Yes.
yes, I think that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Public knowledge. Our meetings are public knowledge.
True.
Yeah, we are here for the public. So thank you, Anne.
Thank you.
See you soon. All right. First up on our agenda are consents. Who would do I hear a motion for consents?
Motion to
I'll make a
approve.
motion.
Okay, Carrie beat you to it, but Diane on Carrie's motion,
Aye.
Stephen, Carrie,
Aye.
Diane, Abby, John.
Consent 1 and 2,
Yeah. Yes. Are you in favor of them?
in favor of it?
Yeah, to
To
okay
approve the
consent.
consents.
Oh, that's a good, yes.
Yes, okay, that passes. Consents with conditions, only 12 upper. So do I hear a motion?
So move.
Thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion, Carrie.
Aye.
John,
Motion is what?
motion was to approve consents. We're on to
With
consents.
conditions.
Yeah, we've done that one. Now we're on consent with conditions.
Yes.
Are you in favor?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And I am as well. And Diane, on your motion?
Aye.
Aye.
HDC.
So, old biz, 10 Lincoln Ave. Meredith,
Better make sure Steve's there.
Stephen, are you here with us?
He's muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, he was.
Is it not Matt?
Yeah,
There he is. Yeah.
he just.
I'm here.
Hi, Stephen.
I'm here.
Oh, great, because Matt's here for 10 Lincoln.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm having some connection issues.
It's just 3 of you.
But we were 4.
Um,
Wait, what? Oh.
Nope, John's not on it. Camp, Coombs,
Camp.
Welch, Oliver and Paul aren't here.
Yep.
I would go for it.
Yeah.
Go.
All right, so basically what we did is we pulled it back. So instead of moving it 9'6", well, actually it was 15. The last meeting was 9'6". We're proposing to move it forward just by 5 feet. We adjusted the dormer to reflect what the board had suggested, specifically making sure that the transition point of the dormer terminated exactly at the break line of the gambrel roof. And I think you can probably see it most explicitly on sheet A 1.5. But we kind of did a combination of things that Ray had suggested, Steve had suggested. So I think that the point of contact where the roof dies into the main roof is exactly where you want it to be. We actually pushed the face of the dormer back off the face slightly, and so I think that those are all the things that you asked us to do. So that's it. That's all I have.
Thanks,
Sure.
Matt.
Yep.
Did everybody get a chance to digest this?
Madam Chair.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Holly.
I did take a look at this morning when it came in. Again, for the record, this is the circa 1902 Queen Anne, the Binnacle or Bonicle, I think it's the better pronunciation. For an addition, reno and move. Just want to make it clear that the proposal still is requesting the move upon the lot. And it's important to remember that the streetscape is important to maintain. The shed dormers have been revised as requested on Tuesday. Thanks, Matt. I just had a quick comment on basically a clarification between the existing shed dormers and the proposed. Are they at the same pitch? Or are they actually just, because I remember, again, I know that they asked for them to be at the same breaking point. Is it just to increase the head height?
So to answer your question, it is not at the same pitch as the existing.
Okay.
It is higher. It goes from the 7 to the 4. But the key part, and I actually did call to get some specific clarity to some individual members just to make sure I understood it properly.
Yep.
But the key was that the termination of the shed dormer, as long as it terminated at that point,
Yep.
that's what they're asking
Yep.
for.
Okay.
So we did lower it and we did push the face of it back. So it's a smaller dormer. You'll also notice too that on the front elevation, and I think Ray had pointed this out fairly astutely, was by pushing it back, the sill is right there at the roof. So
Yes, because I do believe that was a comment too that HSAP had.
yeah.
Okay. That was it. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Holly. So, Cole is not here, but I did talk to him about this, if he was okay with the move up and the changed dormers, so I just talked to him before the meeting. Who would, Diane or Stephen?
I'll go.
Okay, thanks, Diane.
I go along with the dormers. I think they came out right on the side. I am not for the moving of the house. It's ridiculous to move a house 5 feet for what reason? It should stay where it is. And that's
Matt?
where it has been, and that's where it is with the streetscape on Lincoln Ave.
Okay, thanks, Diane.
Madam Chair, can I just point out just one quick thing for Diane, if I could.
Oh, yeah.
So Diane, I just want to point out, we are lifting the structure regardless because we're putting in a full foundation, and it's a really fairly minor adjustment on the site. So it's not like we're picking the house and moving it up just for 5 feet. We are lifting the house anyways because it's on a crawl space. The condition of the foundation is not great. So we're lifting it anyway. So to make a slight adjustment makes sense. So I just want to be clear about what the primary motivation is. Thank you.
Why are you moving it 5 feet?
Because it just helps us with the backyard, you know, they want a backyard to have room to enjoy. And it just, from a landscape perspective, if you got the building up in the air, you know, again, 10 or 15 feet would have been great, but at this point, we're just down to a minor adjustment. But basically, we'll take anything we get. And 5 feet, believe it or not, makes it a little bit, gives us a little bit more breathing room when it comes to the backyard.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Diane. And Stephen?
He got kicked out and he's coming back in.
Oh.
So I'm gonna, wait a second. Stephen, you're up, if you can hear us.
Who's Stephen?
On the Z's in that box.
Stephen?
Yes,
Oh, hi.
sorry, I got new headphones and these ones off is not volume, or volume is off, not volume, so sign me out. I caught at least Diane's comment and Matt, I understood where you were going with the pickup. Was there additional conversation I missed?
Yeah, he said that they were lifting it anyway because they're putting a foundation underneath it. So Diane was like, why just 5 feet? And I was kind of like that too, but apparently it's being lifted anyway. So once you lift it, they can get that 5 feet that they want in the back.
And okay, and then so I went over there yesterday. I had some questions and I was able to get some information. Actually, Elizabeth O'Rourke happened to be there and somehow she's involved in the project. So with her permission, I went in underneath the structure. I have a little bit of background in construction and I saw, you know, basically what's there, which is not a historic foundation. It's basically boards. This is primarily on piers, some of which are little shingles are holding the house up as shims. So it was interesting to see it. I did take a walk along Lincoln Ave. I wanted to get a better perspective versus just kind of driving around there, which I've done in the past. And it was interesting that from the head of Lincoln, looking back, this is the only house that isn't in an alignment along the angle of the street, which is to say, is there a locus, please? Yeah.
If I could also point, I
So-
don't think we're up to date with 12, but
Pardon me?
I was just gonna say that the locus 12 is actually a little bit further forward than it is shown in the locus. So this is the older locus. So 12 is pushed a little bit further forward, but to your point, with it pushed forward, it does follow Lincoln Ave, the angle. I just wanted to point that out. Sorry.
No, thanks, man. So the other thing, I'm pretty certain that 14 has been moved too, hasn't it?
I can't recall.
No, I don't think it has.
I'm looking at the picture that I took this morning and bear with me.
I think unfortunately we did do 8, but
Because 20 was more central, and I remember that one got moved to the end like years ago.
Matt, 12 has a 3 gable front with a third floor, 3 gables.
Yes.
Yeah, the house next to it is further up than is shown in this, if 12 has been moved forward.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the picture. I don't have the mailing. I can barely make out the mailbox, but I'm pretty certain that is. So in any event, my point was simply that I walked it and I got a different understanding than I did sitting at the table the other day. I think the other concern I have is I heard mention that there's a small structure on the site that the owner is considering keeping. I don't know its historic status other than it looks old, but you know, anything out here in the weather can look old. And I just would like to see if we can maybe have the applicant touch on that topic and how it might relate to this move, if at all, through you, Madam Chair.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Sir, so we are planning to keep the existing structure on site. I don't, off the top of my head, I want to say it's maybe like 50s, maybe 40s, just based on the framing on the inside. But regardless, we are planning to keep it and reuse it. We're planning to rotate it 90 degrees. And it essentially will become somewhat of a kind of a pool house, if you will. The other thing to bring up too, Steve, which I think you saw at the site, there is that existing tree that's there. We like the tree, we want to keep the tree. For what it's worth, shifting this house a little bit further away from it is not going to hurt it, especially with the new foundation. But so we do plan to keep that existing structure, and we're just going to renovate it, keep it 1 story, keep all the existing framing and exposed.
Okay, and does this and the shifting of this and the rotation of the of what you're now labeling the pool cabana, which is the existing structure you hope to retain, is that well, I guess all those are kind of keyed together. One is in your program required to do the other, or no?
I mean, meaning that if we didn't do the house, we would definitely do the garage. I mean, yeah, I mean, we would, they wanted to keep the structure on the site because they like it. It's got some interesting framing on the inside. So I don't know if I understand the question. I apologize. I'm not that bright.
No, you're totally right. No, I guess it's good enough. It's a charming structure, and I was just trying to determine if by moving the home, the charming structure of the garage has more of a likelihood of being retained. And I'm not suggesting that we trade horses at the table, but I do like to be informed before I make a decision. So that was a question, and then I have a follow-up comment.
Oh, if I could, so now that I understand the context, I mean, clearly, so when, you know, even this 5 feet, you can see that the distance between the proposed garage that we're gonna rotate and the house, if that was 5 feet closer, everything gets really, you know, tight. And so that is part of the equation. But to your point, if we didn't get the move, you know, we would probably still want to keep that garage. But
Okay, and then I guess the only other question is Val here? Well, this isn't my other question. So Matt, you're proceeding with a 3-person board?
yeah, I know. And I did, for what it's worth, I did, you know, some of the feedback that I received from Val was that one of her biggest concerns was not having this structure stick further forward, and that as long as it was in a line with the buildings in parallel to the street, she was fine with it. So, but it doesn't matter because she's not here. But.
Okay, so my other comment, just for the group, and you know, take it for what it's worth, is having looked at this, and Matt, I understand that part of your move is not necessarily just 5 feet forward, but 5 feet towards the west. That actually moves this structure closer to a smaller structure, which is a garage, and to my mind, better balances the relationship of this larger structure, and it's basically a 1.5 story porch because of the height of the porch is so high, with the house to the east, which I think it's close to. And I think it actually gives a little bit nicer presentation, like in a historically correct perspective, which is to say it's, it's a 5-foot difference, but it's a better balanced presentation of 3 structures in a row due to the fact that the massing is better balanced from left to right. So I thought that that was a consideration for me, at least, that was worth mentioning. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Stephen, for that.
Abby, could I
Yes,
ask
Diane.
a question, which I forgot to? Is this driveway still, is 10 Lincoln the only one of the 3 houses that that used to be joined together that has a driveway going out to Lincoln Ave? Because its original driveway was off Capam Pond.
I could, if, for you, Madam Chair, I could answer that. I think the other 2 have driveways off of Lincoln. Currently, there is a driveway access for this property off of Capam. We hope to actually have a curb cut on Lincoln, but again, we're not talking about that today, and that's not before you today, but just in full disclosure, yeah, our ideal is to get some kind of a small, very minimal curb cut. We did receive some feedback from some, board members about not wanting the parking or any real parking in front of the structure. Hear that loud and clear, but to answer your question, I think the other 2 structures, other 2 properties have curb cuts on Lincoln. This one currently does not. So I don't know if that answers your question, Diane.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay, so we've heard from everybody that's here on the board. What's the pleasure of the board?
Nope, not right now.
So that would be Stephen or Diane to make a motion.
Right, it's you, me, and Diane.
Yeah, it's just the 3 of us. So what's the pleasure?
I'll make a motion which will probably pass. Doesn't necessarily mean that I will vote for it, but I would make a motion that the building be allowed to move forward no further than any of the, than 10, than 12 or 14. And I
That's
guess
the
that's what
address.
we're,
12 or 8, yeah, no, yeah, not the distance. It's 12 or 8, by the way.
Keep going, Diane. The dormers.
and the dormers as submitted.
Excellent. That's very brave of you to take that step. On Diane's motion, Stephen.
Could we have a little discussion on the motion, please?
Yes.
Diane, if you would accept as a friendly amendment, is that that it would move no further forward than the line, the imaginary line created parallel to Lincoln by the homes to the left and the right of this one.
That's what I said.
Okay, yeah, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch the imaginary line part, because if it were just no
Well-
further forward, it could go as forward as 12, and that's quite a bit. I'm not suggesting Matt would take advantage of your good nature in making the motion. I just thought it should be clear.
Well, that's all
all.
right. If you think it makes it more precise, then we'll add it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Well, and then the other thing, I'm just wondering if you could add, because I do think it will make a positive impact, and I believe the applicant still has on the table, is that it would also be approved to shift towards 12 as he'd applied for. I think it's a 5-foot shift,
Or 4-9.
4'9".
Can we, well, on that, I don't know if that's a motion, but can we just keep the 5 feet in case, I mean, I don't think you're gonna get out there with a
You could
string
say,
and snap a line and make sure they're all in line,
I
right?
can do the offset the property line, but if you want to put a stipulation in case that it goes beyond, to say no
Right.
more than 5 feet.
Yeah, that's, I would like to include that, because, Yeah.
Is this through staff?
yes,
If this is through staff, I would request something that was clear on what that means.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so on the drawing, where exactly it would go?
If I may, it would simply be to add that the move towards the west is included. That was part of the application and it's already documented what the dimension is, correct? So it's just that the motion would include a stipulation on where it can move forward, and it would include the move to the west as previously applied for.
And Holly, I can offset a polyline. I can offset the property line in tandem with the dimension. But if you want to make sure that it's not going to go more than 5 feet, you can say not to exceed 5 feet.
Yeah, that, I like that too.
Yeah.
And Terry, just to make sure, did you get Stephen's wordage?
Not really, because there's been so much talk around it. So what I think I might like is for Diane to restate her motion clearly one last time before you vote, so I know I have it right. What I came up with from the discussion is it's a motion to approve through staff, allowing the building to move forward no more than 5 feet and allowing the shift 5 feet west.
Yeah, 4.9 to Terry. No, 3 inches extra on that. So, and yes, and then she had the okaying of the dormers.
Yeah, the dormers as submitted. So basically the shift west and the dormers are as submitted.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so on Diane's motion, Stephen,
Aye.
Diane, on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm an aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I know this is a long one. I think it's good. We're going to protect the house for the next 150 years. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beauty. I love the walk going
Matt,
up.
my dad was
That's
the
big.
last caretaker for that.
Was
house.
he?
Yes, so I know that house.
Inside now.
Yes.
I mean, the good news is we're keeping a lot of the core, you know,
They seem like good
stairs.
people.
Yeah. All right,
Awesome.
thank you all.
Thanks, Mark.
Madam Chair, the next one I believe is Val's application. She wants to hold that for Tuesday.
Oh,
Motion to hold number 2, 28 Prospect Street until next week.
in
So
favor?
move.
Terry? Okay, thank you, Diane. We're gonna hold Val, which is the second one. on all this. Yeah, yeah. Are you in favor? I'm in favor too, so that's, sorry not to have Val here. I think we probably could have done it without her. But,
Okay,
Okay.
I'm ready.
oh, sorry,
Who's ready?
is ready. Who? Ms. Sorensen?
That's Sorensen. She wasn't here on Tuesday.
Somebody's. Anyway, is there a Sorensen here?
Or somebody to represent.
51 Fair?
Motion to hold for representation.
Thank you, Carrie. On Carrie's motion, Diane.
Aye.
We're holding 51 Fair because nobody's here. Are you in favor of that?
Yes.
Yes, and I'm in favor as well, so.
And 2 and 3 we should hold too.
Yes.
For Valerie, okay, so, did I hear that motion?
From Diane,
From
yeah.
Diane, okay, Diane, so on Diane's motion to hold 81 Pulpus, Carrie,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
thank you. And on the motion, Diane,
Aye.
thank you.
Holding 3 of them,
Yeah, now we're on number 4. Let's see if
2,
any,
3, and 4.
yeah, TNT Roofing. 28 Liberty Street.
Anybody here? Let's see them.
All right, so who is in the queue?
94 Orange Street, Paul is here.
Okay.
Wait, I just want to see who's in the queue so we can take a bulk of these out.
Yeah, he's here. for
Who?
94 Orange. He's here.
Oh, great. Okay, so
here.
let's make a, let's hold 28 Liberty Street. Do I hear that motion?
Motion,
Thank you, Diane. Carrie, on
Aye.
the motion.
We're gonna hold 28 Liberty Street. Nobody's here.
Are you on that? Yes, John's on that. And Stephen?
Aye.
Hi, thank you for being there. And I am an aye. So we're on to 94 Orange Street.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Hold on. Go for it.
So 94 Orange Street, we're adding a small 185 square foot addition to the back, the rear of the building. It's a very narrow lot, and we're really adding kitchen space and laundry facilities, and then a balcony, what we call a summer sleeping porch on the second floor. I'll scroll down to the rear elevation, which we'll look at first. So you can see the windows we're doing are 6/9, in keeping with the windows that are all throughout the second floor of the building. We're essentially mimicking the existing architecture or existing structure. The door is going to be the exact same door as the one that it is replacing. We really tried to keep the footprint to a minimum. So the front from the street, you can see that the hold on. There's a small front, recessed quite a bit back is a small outcropping of where the kitchen is. And then the side views are as follows. Again, sleeping porch above, kitchen below, or laundry facility actually below, with kitchen. And then here's what it looked like, and this is what we're changing it to on this elevation.
Thank you.
So again, the windows are staying the same. I'm just going to show you the photographs to give you a sense of this window is the one that is going throughout the upper stories. The doors remaining the same, and the side view is actually the side view that comes from it's almost impossible to see anything given the vegetation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Are the windows in the existing back, are those original to the house, or?
I believe they are. I don't know for certain. This project has been before you before in different iterations. This is a sort of a new iteration, and there had been no discussion of the windows not being original in previous HDC meetings.
Well, it's a big concern of ours, and there is a place you could reuse them in your proposed,
Oh,
so.
I'm sorry. Are you saying the existing windows? Oh, I misunderstood the question. Are the existing windows that are being removed being reused? I can certainly do that. That's not a hardship.
Yeah, I can see that you could reuse them right on either side of the door. So, let's hear from the board.
Madam Chair.
Oh, yes, Holly, go.
So, for the record, this is at 1815, 2.5 story ridge chimney, 3-bay facade, pilaster doorway, transom, 12-by-12 windows originally. In the old historic district, the HSAB took a look at this on April 4th. The general massing of the proposed addition needs to be addressed, including roof pitches and additive massing. A 1.5-story addition may work better. Multiple ganged windows need to be separated. Door surround, the rear door surround is too formal, and HSAB respectfully requests to see revisions back from staff. additive massing should project more towards the rear. It has an odd roof slope. Bring the eave down. There's too many ganged windows on the proposed rear, as HSAB had mentioned. The new rear door is way too formal. On the north, there's columns being proposed going down to the basement. That is definitely not appropriate. Ganged windows, obviously I mentioned that. What was the proposed window manufacturer for the new windows? I didn't catch that. Obviously, as you all just discussed, having retaining any existing windows would be great. And then on the west, there needs to have a window, if that's left. Sorry, didn't understand what the proposed demolition of that rear wall was. Looks to be removing the existing, just need some clarification. And then there's a fireplace, I believe I noticed in the plans, that's existing on that rear existing elevation, and I want to know what the age of that was. So those are the comments, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, Holly. You are keeping that chimney in the back, though, it looks like.
Yes, we are keeping the chimney in the back.
Okay.
The fireplace and the corresponding structure with inside the building is being removed. However, the chimney will be retained.
So both chimneys are staying.
Correct.
Right, okay. All right, so has everybody had a chance to digest this?
I'll go.
Thank you, Carrie.
I agree with HSAB 100%. I think the massing on this is really not appropriate to come off a small gable end with a larger, very awkward roof plane, and then a sunroom, gang windows on 3 sides, basically. On the second floor, I mean, I could see taking that piece off and putting it on the ground and getting away with it, but I think as a second floor element, extending the long rear mass is bizarre with no break and no sort of relationship with the existing roof planes. And then, the finer details need to be cleaned up, and that's it.
Thank you, Carrie. Stephen?
Yeah, I don't have anything to add.
Oh, Diane?
No, I think that's what Hassan has said is true. I think that don't want to take up a bunch of time. I think what they said was straightened what Carrie said.
So I think an addition is possible, but I think it has to be a little more in keeping, and that is a really odd roof line on that east elevation. I would rethink that and sort of take out the formal atmosphere that you've created with the columns and the back door trim surround. So do I hear a motion for revisions?
Madam Chair,
I'd make a motion for a visit and return to Hashem before.
Okay, sorry, I just heard Stephen say something.
yeah, I was
Stephen?
just gonna ask, before the motion was made, I was gonna ask if we could, through you, ask the applicant for some additional images of, what's in the area. He can see more in a backyard than we can see from the street, so I think there is relevancy there. And then I was gonna make the motion Diane made, so just I'm good with it.
Okay, so Diane, can you add what Stephen wants for a little more information about the neighborhood? What's
Yep.
around? Okay,
Yep, I'd
thanks.
like and give us a streetscape of the surrounding houses.
Yeah, and back to HSAB.
Yep, and back to ASAP.
Okay, thanks, Diane. On Diane's motion, Stephen,
Aye.
I'm so sorry. Hold on. Hold everything. John, please, go ahead. I'm sorry, I forgot you.
I have one question. Somebody here represent this application?
In Zoom.
In the box.
Okay. My question is on the east elevation. So, what- East elevation. Okay, there's a shadow line. On the machine, right, the east elevation. Yes, there is that. I just saw it. Hang in there. East
That end
elevation.
line.
West elevation. Okay, the west elevation. That's the west elevation? Did this, nobody here represent that?
He's in
It's
the
in
box.
Zoom.
He's,
I'm
Yeah.
here.
Okay, will you go to the west elevation, please? Okay. Go to the right. Left end of the house,
Talking about the addition.
right there, yeah. There's a line drawn down in the middle of that. And I can't find it on the west elevation or the,
Wouldn't show up on the west elevation.
It shows,
Show up on the-
it shows up in the plan. That's a plan. If you look at the plan, there's a small bump to accommodate the refrigerator in the kitchen. So that is, I mean, I think when you shingle it with the cedar shingles, it's going to disappear, especially because it's largely in shadow.
I don't know if it's typographical error or what.
No, it's not.
All right, if this is a west elevation, it's gonna show up on the south elevation. I think it's in here. It shows two posts here.
yeah, there it is. This is the end of that.
That line right there,
There it is.
that line right there, there is a column right there,
Three columns.
and that's that column right there. Same thing.
All right. Yep, no problem. Lauren.
All for a sub-zero.
Thank you.
It's a nice,
Okay,
heard they're nice refrigerators.
so,
You already made a motion.
we already made a motion. So are you for revisions, John?
Yes.
Yes, okay, and I am too. So. we Get a pretzel for that. Yeah,
Can I get the staff notes sent to me?
The minutes will be posted.
The minutes should be posted by close of business tomorrow on the town website.
Okay, thank you.
Are we working on the motion that I made, or what we working on now?
Yes.
Yeah, motion for revision.
revision. Okay, moving right along.
Does everybody
Yeah,
vote?
yeah, you
Yeah.
voted on Diane's motion, so.
Yeah, okay,
Terry.
we're up to 6 King Street. Which one are you guys?
I'm on number 10, 7 Dooley.
Oh, we're almost there. Okay, so, but I,
Is
okay.
Atlantic Landscaping here?
All right, let's pass over that then. Do I hear a motion to hold?
Motion,
Thank you.
motion.
Okay, on Diane's motion to hold 6 King Street. John,
Aye.
aye. Stephen,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So on to Loretta Young. Yeah, I can't believe anybody knows who she is.
Is Brooke here?
Hi, Diane.
There he is.
Right here, in the owl.
All right, this is, new dwelling. This is 17 Loretta Lane. It is on the waterfront, the Nantucket Harbor. And it is in Pocomo. It is a 1.5 story structure. The footprint is pretty much limited to what you see because of Concom concerns. We are actually the original structures that were there were forward of where this structure is. You know, in order to have a new building, we have to build it back from the water. This structure will be visible on all sides. So I'm not going to try and deny that. But I think that its low eave lines and its cottage architecture should work for the area.
Yeah. Very nice. Who would like to go first? John, why don't you go first? Are you ready?
Yeah.
What do you think of Brooks' proposal?
For the south elevation. That's the front door, it's more glass than wood. So maybe we should put a different door in there, it's more appropriate. That's just one question. Thank God it's out of town. On the west elevation, far right side, the door has more glass than wood. Maybe you can revise that door.
It's a kitchen door.
Yeah, I'm waiting for an answer.
I don't want to. I'm not going to because it's appropriate for the architecture. So I want to see what the rest of the board says.
All right.
If that's it, that's my comment. Those two items.
Thank you, John. Let's go to Stephen.
Yep, can we bring up the elevations, please? Okay,
That's
great.
slow. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a handsome structure. Can you hear me? Can you not hear me?
No, we can hear you.
Okay, great. You know,
It's very slow.
I'm sorry, can we zoom in on the south, just a couple of clicks, please?
Sorry, the bandwidth is really slow.
Yeah, one more.
Will you share?
Or
it with me?
yeah, just,
'Cause I'm-
so, on the right side, get the height, the story pole in, kind of curious.
28.2 on the main
Oh, it's working,
ridge,
it's working.
24.5
24.
on
So Brooke, on those meeting rails, you're a little bit above, but that's due to the fact that you'd have to raise the roof on that mass to
Well,
raise
yeah,
your
plus-
eve.
And they're projecting rakes and eaves, so the appearance of it being above the fascia. It's, again, we've had this discussion a million times. And I think that as long as it's not way above that, it just, to me, it doesn't look awkward.
Right, but my question again was, given the detail you have, I'll elaborate, with your soffit overhang. If you were to have this work with the floor plan at the sill heights they are, you would have to raise the roof of that mass, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to understand. Okay, so, and then the door, what detail can you give me on the door? This is gonna be a custom-made fine piece of craftsmanship, or is this?
Yes, this is definitely a custom door. And it's gonna be a custom home.
And is the door painted or mahogany or?
I think I have it as painted right now. I can't remember what the.
Okay, I'm just curious. Okay, if we maybe just chase that.
Light blue.
Doors blue, black.
Right.
Okay,
black.
and then, back on the elevations, please. And the next one down. Okay, and the next one. Yep. I note the fenestration, but also this is facing the rear, and the rail, which is atypical, but also facing the rear. And then the next one. Okay, like the diamond window personally, appropriate too. Okay, thank you. Comments are basically, I think the windows on the west elevation that are uneven sash heights, as opposed to on the south, and I don't think I saw them on the north. I'm a little concerned about pulling those off, but on the west elevation, if we look at the site plan, I believe those aren't going to be directly visible.
They're definitely stepped back from that face.
Okay, yeah, that was the west shows, if you refer to the west, it'll show you what I'm talking about. One more sheet in the bottom. Yeah.
There.
The windows on the left most, I believe they're number 9. Yeah, they're number 9 and this one too. Okay, those are my comments. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'll go.
Thank you, Stephen. Go, Diane.
The, I don't mind the kitchen type door on the west elevation. I don't think it needs, it's a kitchen door in a small house. I think it's usable. I do question the number 9 on the left-hand side. Number 1, that they are mold, and number 2 is they're off center for no particular reason. So could I see another one, the front elevation?
That'd be south.
The only thing I would suggest, Burke, in this elevation is the shed dormer on the second floor, and maybe widen those windows so they go out to the cheeks and not come in so much. It would make them, I think, more proportion with the type of window that you have around there. Again, I don't mind the front door. I think that it goes with the house. That's, do we have you say we can see this house from all 4 sides, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the west is, it'll be visible from, as you're walking down the beach. Not a lot of people walk down that beach, but it would be visible there. And that those windows, the cottage style windows with the uneven sash,
Yeah.
those are actually set back from the west elevation by probably 20 feet. So even though it shows it in 2D, it's really not going to read as right on the face.
As it shows. Okay,
Yeah.
I can. What that whole thing on the west elevation is set back.
Well, those particular windows are set 20 feet back from the face, the forwardmost face.
Okay, all right, but and I like the little diamond window. So I think the east is the only one I haven't seen. Oh, there it is. Again, my only thing would be, it doesn't matter. The south is the one facing the water, right?
South faces in towards land, and that will be your driveway approach. That's the
Okay,
south elevation.
What faces the water?
The north elevation.
Elevation. Okay, I got that. So if that faces the water, the east will be fairly hard to see.
Yes, that is correct. There's another piece of property to the east.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, if you're on the water, I mean, you might see it from like a quarter mile away, but it's not in your face.
Right. No, it's just the mold windows, maybe on the first floor I would separate, but no big deal. That's what I have to say thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Carrie, in a
I
nutshell.
think it's a good looking house. This elevation here on the south, I think one or the other, these clear story windows or that dormer, but all of them together are too much. It's kind of a small mess and it just seems like it's a little bit chaotic to me. The east I have no issue with. The north, I really think these windows on this elevation and the west should be the same as on the rest of that mass. This is all on the same mass, and this has a different
So like
configuration with
sevens?
larger sevens. Yeah, but if they can match all together here,
Oh,
it just
yeah.
would help balance it better for me. I don't mind this on this elevation. Then my pet peeve is 8 light doors when in my head they should be 6 lights, so the proportion is more like
Mhm.
the wind, like 2 over 2 windows. For me, that's it. I think it's a good looking house. Just a little simplification on this and those windows.
So thank you, Carrie. And for me, what's the trim color?
I think,
Kentucky gray,
yeah, I think of
red,
Nantucket gray
black sash.
and black sash, so it's not gonna pop
Oh,
out of the landscape.
okay, right. Does the door have to be black? Can it be a cherry color,
I
like
can make it a cherry color.
cherry red? Come on.
Let's, no, we'll just have it approved as cottage red for now.
Okay.
Still double, but
All right, so I think there are a couple of changes, right? And you've got them?
I do, I'm probably gonna hold on the ganged windows and the dormers, but we'll talk about that next time.
Okay, but do you feel good about?
Yeah, the rest of the changes.
All right. Do I hear a motion for revisions?
No, I have-
I'll make a motion to hold for revisions.
Okay, hold that motion for a sec, quick.
What are you going to do about the 2 doors that have too much glass than the wooden?
He's going for revisions.
I'm sorry?
He's coming back for revisions.
Well, this one is gonna, I wanna keep that because it's not really, this one is, it's not
It's
visible.
not visible to the top,
Right.
Yeah,
but I'm going back to the front.
and,
Right.
and this is appropriate for this style building. It's,
I'm sorry?
it's appropriate for that style building.
What's the style?
It's simple
The
cottage.
style that you have here is superimposed onto itself. Everything relates to everything else. Double hung, 3
You
lines.
often find a funky window or door on this style building.
I'm not gonna argue with the staff or you, I'm just making a comment that we should take more action on a lot of these that are doing this. Because some of these things are actually inappropriate for the immediate areas where they are, such as this right here. That's not appropriate. There are other things that keep on that alone because it's out of town area. But I think you should do something like that.
Okay, well, he's coming back for revisions and that we have a motion on the floor for revisions. So are you in favor of it coming back to us?
Yes,
Okay, and
send him with.
That was Diane.
and Stephen?
Yep, I'm still in favor of it coming back to us.
Great, and I'm in favor as well. You get it, that's all.
Oh, thank you.
For your hard work.
I want another one.
They're really delicious and they're made with beer.
They're just
Well,
crunchy.
One of each for you.
Happy, crunchy.
What is this now? Another?
This is a garage
Garage studio on the same lot.
studio, same lot.
What is after this?
It's just something different.
I know.
You know,
What 70s? Is there a shine rub in there too?
Cedar board. Cedar board.
Bubble lamp?
Who is clunking the paper? God.
That's Abby's fault.
Nobody.
Oh, yes, they are.
Okay, let's go. Yo, Diane, why don't you go?
Okay, this is the garage, right?
Right.
And it's 22.6,
Yes.
right?
Sorry, to get it on.
Yeah. I would like to see the windows up at the second story, not mulled, but separated, or on the south, on the that's the south elevation. The north elevation has some too. I think it's too crowded to try and separate them. East elevation is good. North elevation is perhaps, south elevation, perhaps there would be one window up there. I don't think you have room to separate them. If it fits in and not too heavy on the second floor, I'd let it go. Let me see the other two elevations. South elevation I talked about. East elevation is the one that we don't think we'll see much, and the west elevation, I would separate those windows so that they are spread over like the garage doors below them. And I appreciate the height at 22, and I know how you like to cut, who makes a thing around your deck, so I will say you probably won't be able to see that because it'll melt in your distance away. And I appreciate the door, and I think it makes a good cottage garage. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Diane. John, you look like you're ready. You're next.
Okay,
What you got circled there? All right,
who's on there now?
you're up.
My comments, the garage, the second floor on the east and the north. What are those?
It's cable rail,
Huh?
cable rail, and the house will be in front of it, so it's really not visible this way. And it really won't be visible that way. It's also down below.
Now, these here should be 45, not with the arch.
Okay, it's just a cut. And
No,
again,
I'm asking.
Yes, they are
I'm
45.
mentioning to you,
Yeah.
you should do something about it. Most people, we tell them 45-degree angle. Agreeable? Well, you're a hard man.
All right, thank you,
That's my
John.
recommendation on that.
Thank you for that. Stephen?
Yeah, Madam Chair. Yeah, I have no additional comments. This tracks the house in my mind.
Yeah, and it's probably not visible.
Yeah.
So what do we want to do with this?
If he would separate the
Karen.
windows,
I just hadn't gone yet, so I just wanted to
Oh, I'm
say,
sorry.
I think the sighting of it and the orientation of it is fortunate, since I think some of this stuff is a little busy for a little garage cottage, but, yeah. Good sighting.
Thanks.
You're getting a little
You mean it's
crazy
good
in
because
your
you
older
can't see
age.
it?
Huh?
So that's a motion to approve, right?
We'll see what the rest of the people have to say.
I think we're almost done
I think
with,
Diane.
I don't have a, I
Diane,
think it's fine.
yeah,
were you making a motion?
I'm making a motion to approve with the windows in the aforementioned elevations, the mold windows on the south and the north, I guess, elevation separates.
This window
The-
sets it a little bit.
So may I speak to, the north I can separate. The south,
Okay.
since I can't separate it, if we have one window there, it's going to be a ton of shingle.
Okay, well, that's all right, never mind, it's just a
But
suggestion.
definitely the north, I'll do that.
I have another comment.
But we have a motion on the floor
Okay,
and
on the motion. I'll make a comment on the motion.
all right, well,
All right. Now, I'm hoping that they will keep this information in here. To hold it full for revision, but during the revisions, not have the wire that's visible. I feel it's visible.
it's, the house, the cottage itself is not visible from the road,
No, it's not.
says the applicant. And we have a motion to approve on the table,
As is,
No,
as is. Oh, no, no,
No,
sorry,
with the
there's,
north-
with
with-
separating,
These windows separate.
Yeah, what about the wire?
The wire will stay because you can't see it.
you can't see those either.
Change-
All right,
Some of us
so-
are okay with it. If you're
Yeah,
not, you can
Yeah,
say no.
just say no, just say no if you don't wanna say yes, you can say no.
That's right, I think.
That's
Yes.
right, it's your prerogative, it's a democratic,
Well, I'm going for the best there is that can contest it.
yeah.
Okay,
so what
is the?
So, okay,
Go ahead, go ahead.
all right, so on Diane's motion, Carrie,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
John,
No,
Abby,
definitely.
yes, definitely, okay, so that's a go,
All right, thank you.
good job.
Nice to see you.
See you, Brad.
I'll see you at Christmas.
Yeah, see you around. Oh, crowd, holy smokes.
Separate the ones, which elevation was that?
North.
Can you drain the beer out of the pretzel?
No.
I don't know how to spell separate.
You know, that is the one that drives me crazy all the time too. I take it out, I'm like, no.
Separate or
No.
separate?
Separate, A-P-E, S-U-P-A-R-A-T-E.
Mold windows.
I have the worst time typing that word.
I don't see it, Lance, I don't see
So who's next? Stephen Cohen?
You don't have to sign.
Yeah.
shelter 7.
Oh, shelter center.
I kind of want to take this young man here because he's
Yeah,
just
he's
sitting here
waiting.
and I just,
I think I'm next anyways.
well, I'm just worried about.
David, are you David?
Yes.
Okay.
But first, what about,
12
holding 12 cottage? since
Motion
nobody's here?
to hold number 12 for representation.
Yes, on Carrie's motion, Stephen,
Aye.
thank you, Diane
Aye.
and John, we're holding number 12, Codfish Park.
Hold it.
Hold it.
Thank you.
And I'm an aye. So we have finally come to 7 Dooley Court. New dwelling, David Nagis. Welcome.
Who?
This young man right here.
No, what number is it? I didn't time.
It's number 10,
Yeah, thank you.
7 Dooley Court.
Haven't really, thank you.
Duly noted.
So a homeowner says, Captain, but we just closed today, so I'm official homeowner of that.
Okay.
property. They gave a permission, thank you, they gave a permission to submit it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's hard to buy a house on this island.
Very hard. So this is, my name is David Nagis. I'm a owner and a builder at the same time. So it's the last house on the 7 Dooley, on the Dooley Court. And it has existing dwelling. And what we're trying to do, existing dwelling, gonna leave as employee housing, and we're trying to put a secondary dwelling next to it at the beginning of the lot.
And it's 20% larger?
Yeah.
Or
It's 20% larger. We want to kind of do 20% smaller because it's cheaper to build, but the existing house is very low. It's only 22 feet and the ceilings is under the code. Second floor is under 7 feet. And the first floor is up to always only 90 inches. So,
Well, that's a ground cover thing. The 20% is a ground cover, not the
it
ceiling.
just makes it, leaves us like a 20 square feet, so.
Right, okay.
Madam Chair, through you. Have you gone to the planning board yet? for
I
your second?
have not.
Okay, that's where that 20% differential is gonna be chosen. This looks a little.
It's right here, but we said if we have to, we'll chop a little bit of existing house, because existing house is gonna have to do it's failing, we're gonna have to redo everything, the windows and everything.
As long as you realize you need to do that in addition, before you get your
Yes.
building permit.
Thank you for that.
So the house will be modular. I tried to make it as, it doesn't look like a modular, so we tried to break it on the first floor, some dormers, but it don't give us much of flexibility on the modulars unless you go to have, custom and everything. And I tried to keep the height as low as possible. Unfortunately, modular, you lose that extra foot in height just the way the box is stacked.
Yeah,
So, I would like to hear your comment.
yeah, thank you very much. So if anybody's ready, you can jump right in.
Sure, why not?
Okay, go for it, John.
Okay. Topic,
Yes. Okay.
the, okay,
Forward.
what elevation do you use the tree visibility from the tree,
So it's,
where it is on the property is?
so this is a little bit changed now. This is blocked. We didn't change it. It was done by previous owners. This is blocked. The Tombs Court is blocked. And this is just only access through here, which is the last house on the Dooley. And that has the new driveway cut through here and coming to join to here.
Where's your Tombs house? Up here?
So the house is here and there's no more access here. This was done by the previous owners.
The UPS guy, your Tombs?
I have
I
no
thought you
idea.
know that house right there.
He doesn't know
I
him.
have no, I don't know him. I know that this is Maxwell's house.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And what is the length of it? 100?
No.
Okay.
I think on the floor plan, if you go one more, I'm sorry, I don't have it up on my mind. So I have it 42 and then a section of 13 and
About
13.
68.
About right, yes.
69.
About 68. The main, and then we have like two one-story sections on both ends, 13 feet 9 inches.
My opinion is this right into the neighborhood, and I don't think it's a lot of things, it's just the location of the 3 addition on the visitor. Or they're gonna be walked around.
Big with the box around. I show them, they put a note, it's gonna have, you know, like picket fence or whatever you prefer. It's like,
Thank you, okay, thank you. Nice house.
thank you.
Carrie.
I think it reads very flat. I also think this is not, these aren't 3 feet off. These need to be 3 feet. I don't know if you know that.
Okay, yeah, for some reason I thought it's 2
Yeah.
feet. I'm sorry, I don't do this often, like I
Yeah.
draw the plans once in 5 years.
Yeah, it's 3 feet and,
Yes,
I guess the porch will unflatten it, but it reads very flat and wall-like, and I think it's because the very long dormer on the long roof. We just had this on the other day on, what's that little side street off Fairgrounds? Very similar.
Weatherly.
Huh?
Yes.
Weatherly,
Yeah.
yeah. And he came up with a different, but it's almost like there needs to be two
Two.
dormer, there's something to break that big wall up. And then the front door, I imagine, that's the front door. I think
Yes.
that needs a little more ceremony. The porch seems a little puny here.
Or trim.
Yeah, this isn't shingle, I don't think, right?
so that's one wall closed here and then I had just a new
Oh,
wall
it is a
here.
closed wall.
Just because of
Okay.
the shower. We tried to,
Oh, and the shower on, I guess it's not on the front, but.
so
um,
we will have this like a hedge or something, which basically wanna have like arbor
Yeah.
to access.
I think on the back, I think it's okay to have a massive dormer. That often happens, but again, it
Just
has to
3
be
feet?
at least 3 feet.
Okay.
And then something that reads funny on this is the check rails don't align at all. They're much lower than this. So I think somehow the windows need to be raised so that check rail lines up
I
with
just
your
kept, I just
eave.
shortened the window and then it would raise automatically up a little bit.
Yeah. And the corner boards read very skinny, and I don't know what that is.
It's 5.5
5
inch. It would be-
Okay.
I put it on no, but it might not be.
Yeah, no, it's not drawn that like that, so it just makes it look a little funny. And then just a technicality for your sake, I don't know if you're allowed to have 2 curb cuts.
No.
You're only allowed to have
Because
1 curb cut.
so this one,
Do they
they
both
designed it, it's just, this one continuously going on this property, so I think
So it'll.
it's gonna be like a
it
Y, yes,
Continues?
yes.
Okay, so that, okay. That's all, just.
Oh, thank you, Carrie. Stephen. Diane.
I don't know, it would have been good to have some bubbles around it. The dormer, I think on the south elevation and the north elevation are both too long, too close to the thing. I don't know how long the whole base is, but it looks to me as, I don't see any measurements. It looks like the building at top is 28 feet. The meeting rails don't meet, as you mentioned, Carrie. Um, it, I don't know, it needs something. I don't know. It's too similar on every, it's too similar. Both sides are the same size. I'd like to see some part of it reduced down. What is the length of the building?
Of the entire building, I'm sorry.
It's about 69, Diane, and then the main
Yep.
mast is about 42.
Okay, well, I think in Dooley Court, is too long. Dooley Court is not a big street. It needs to be pulled together. That dormer needs to come in. I don't know what the windows are. The number one windows all together, but there's too much shingles on that elevation. It's better on the west elevation, although over there you could put a window up in that first dormer. Again, there's too much shingle. You've got 3 windows on the first floor and a little one up in the peak, and that's it. And the same on the, I guess it's the east elevation. It needs.
Do you know where she's talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, probably. Thank you.
So that's just a suggestion.
Thank you, Diane. Is Steve in there?
Yeah, you want to hit John first or no?
I think John went. Did you
John.
go?
Yeah, he already went.
No, it's
Oh,
your
geez,
turn.
I didn't hear him go on about the door. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, can we look, I'm looking at mine, so the south elevation. Can we look at the locus, please? And this will be in the, located in the southern portion of the lot shown in the locus, correct?
So the existing one is very long, just kind of, not as long, I think it's over 40 feet, it's just long box. So we're kind of turning that one our way.
Right,
trying
so
to
it'll be
break
towards
them
the
up.
south, towards the southern border?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, southwest, I guess I'd say. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, I'd suggest, number one, the applicant bring in some pictures of homes in the area. I don't disagree with a lot of the comments that have been made, but I do note that this is, typically ranch style or modified ranch with the roof blown out for a second floor and large dormers. Kind of a local neighborhood. Not to suggest that there should be a lower standard in any way. I'm just saying that's what the type of architecture that's there is not dissimilar to this. I think there are some kind of oddities that would help. On the south elevation, I think you're going to be viewed very obliquely from the street, if at all. There might be a case for limited visibility or screening. So I'm not going to get too much into the fenestration there. The meeting rails, I'm not as concerned about. They're pretty darn close. Larger windows or burying the trim in the header could help you there. On your west elevation, I find it just, it throws the proportions off. The outdoor shed there without a window on the left hip roofed element. The other thing that kind of is odd proportionally is the secondary mast with the front door relative to the main gable, and softening that maybe with a dormer, but it something just doesn't look right. It looks like this is almost a 3-story structure with a two-story on the west with a two-story second story living space. But when you look at it from the, the north, it's more like a two-story with a one story. And sorry, I've got a hungry cat in the background. It's my time to feed the animals. So my point is that when you're looking at it, if you were to look, as you look at these elevations, they look like they're different structures. So I get where people are concerned. But again, I think there's going to be a lot of a lack of visibility except for the west elevation. So for me, the west elevation is that little tiny gable window that's way up, which would almost be like in a ceiling plane if you were looking at it. The sill height doesn't seem to relate to the floor. I think it's a number 9. That's a concern. If the north elevation were visible, which I believe it'll only be obliquely, I would suggest a farmer's porch. The farmer's porch be a shed roof versus a hip. That hip is, I think, adding in a negative way to the presentation of what you've proposed. And that's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Stephen. I just, going back to Carrie's point about the, sorry, you're right there, being 3 feet off, I think that's going to help this a lot and sort of, I would like to see those windows go up and come right off that board. And then that way I think the meeting rails will go right in line. And I think that will help give it some strength. I think the hip roof is too slopey. I think we could make it steeper and those would be better proportions. I don't think you can do that. I think you can do that with a modular.
Yeah.
And pointed out to me that this is too deep. This is usually just 8 feet. A porch like that is usually just 8 feet. This looks extensive. So do you have any questions before we?
Like, I think I got all the concerns and everything. I think it would be like making dormer shorter and the windows raise it up so then the sash rail follows the line. That's very easy adjustments for a modular home.
Front door, gable window.
And then for the front, because I think the only part which is going to be visible is going to be west elevation, which is the entrance of the house. And as I understand, everybody have like certain thing which will want to change it so it looks a little bit more proportional. If you give me a direction what to do, I just can change it easily.
I don't know how to say it, but somebody was talking about how much shingle area there is on that west elevation, and that's going to be an important one. Somehow bring in some windows somehow to
I put in some windows because the top window I just added, so it's not as much. It's just gonna be the attic dead space, but
Make it bigger and drop it a bit.
make it bigger and drop it down.
yeah, that's what I was
And the
thinking
front
too.
door, fix the front door, give it more presence. So
Yeah, presence, like,
Build it up more
So it
with trim.
disappears.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
door
give
seems
it some-
narrow, it's gotta be 3 feet.
It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
give it some,
I think it's 32 inches, I believe.
yeah,
So I
say,
can add some side lights and everything to dress it up a little bit.
yeah, that would be,
help.
yeah, that would be great. It is the front door. It's like, welcome, come on in. But,
Just not sidelights all the way down to the ground.
But
yeah.
Yes.
we can-
Abby, I think
Yeah.
the east elevation needs either another window on the first floor. It's got as much empty shingles as the west elevation, as I brought it up when I said about it. There's a lot of shingle space.
We put it on the side once and we kind of want to keep at least one spot so we can put a bed there. So that's why you have an east elevation, that would be a bed location because our walls have a windows on the sides. And that's like the most visible, the least visible side. on
Yeah,
this.
that is the least visible side.
See, see what you can do.
The
John
north
has
and the
one
west
more.
needs help.
I make a motion to hold for.
Hold on,
Hold
hold
on,
on one
Diane.
second. John is going to say something very important.
This here, on the east elevation on the right side, is marked as 10'6".
I just did that.
The 8 foot only refers to the second floor or above in the guidebook. It doesn't appear on
Yeah,
the first floor.
it can be.
It's gotta be on the second floor up to be 8 foot,
But I think
any
Steve's,
more than 8 foot.
Steve's
It has to be-
comment about a shed roof versus a,
Okay, that could take care of that. Okay, so
maybe
here
there's
we
a hip
go.
on the front and a
Yes,
shed
if
on
we
the
could
side.
keep that porch a little wider.
I'll make a
Guys.
motion to hold for minor revisions.
Yeah,
We can talk about it.
yeah.
Aye.
Aye, on the motion.
Aye.
Thank you, revisions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what's gonna come back as a whole business and.
We're almost ready for this, unless we have to do minutes.
Yeah, it's all
Yes,
business.
yep.
I wondered if you want to flip the front porch.
Okay,
Did you?
thanks, everybody. I gotta run.
Okay, thanks
A little
for
more
coming,
present.
Stephen.
So do they
Okay,
have?
yeah, we're over, so I gotta run. Thanks, bye.
Bye.
And then the shed on
Do we have
the
minutes
side
to
now.
approve?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Just.
Yes. March 29th and March 31st.
March 29 and March 21st, is that what you said?
31st.
I'm not here.
Oh. no,
For minutes?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Max,
yeah.
you right, sure.
Yeah, okay, on the
Motion to
minutes,
approve.
Diane. Okay, thank you.
Aye. Come on,
Aye.
guys, you're all talking at once.
Okay,
I-
sorry about that. We're taking the motion on the minutes.
Right, I make a motion to approve the 29 and the whatever the other one was.
There was-
They just did that. Now you need a motion for adjournment.
Yeah, yes, okay, so all in favor of the motion to adjourn? Yeah, you can.
Aye.
And congratulations with your house.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm an aye on that, on those, and now,
Motion to adjourn.
ta-da, motion to adjourn, Diane on the motion,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Stephen's gone, John on your motion,
Aye,
thank you, guys.
Colin.